It is July 2022, and it's time to look at the Albuquerque real estate market and what has been going on for June. And we're looking at closed sales. I'm going to start right here. So this is Tego Venturi Realty Group of Keller Williams Realty here in Albuquerque. And I look at this every month and every day and always tracking what's going on in the real estate market. And just going to start right here because this is really the story, which is the number of sales. Number of sales have been declining. So what we're looking at are all single family residential properties in the Albuquerque MSA, which is just the 4-county area. And we're looking at a 12-month rolling. So we've seen a decline of about 9% annualized versus the same 12 months ago. And so home sales are definitely slowing down. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we've had this unprecedented mortgage rate increase. So if we look at this, we go back, this is our mortgage rate. This is just for comparison more than anything, but we're looking at the last year. So we go back to December. Beginning of the year, we were just over 3%, and we ran all the way up to over 6% on our mortgage rate. You know, that really takes a dent out of people's buying power that have to purchase with a mortgage. And we have pulled back here in a few weeks. We seem to be stabilizing a little bit, which is nice to see because, you know, the really shock to the system for people that have been waiting, wanting to get into a home and suddenly they've just gotten hit with these higher mortgage rates, which of course affects your house payment greatly. So if we look at the number of sales again, let me go back here. Monthly, we're down about 16% from the same month last year. And you can see the trend was up. You know, and of course we have this ebb and flow annually, or every year, you know, kind of goes up and down. We definitely did not hit those peaks that we've seen for June in probably the last 3 years. I think we have to go back to 2017, something like that, to get to these numbers. So that's that. If we look at pending sales, also a number of those are down. So these are homes that went under contract in June, although it's still very healthy. You know, 1,100, almost 1,200 homes going under contract in June, which is a really good tell that yes, those mortgage rates took a hit for a lot of people. There's still people out there that want to buy homes, just not as many as there were. Number of homes for sale has been kind of the big story the last few years, which is inventory, number of homes available to purchase. We've seen that move up now. It's still pretty low. I mean, really low historically. You can see this is a 10-year chart, and you can see we're down here around 1,200 homes when we finished out at the end of the month. I think today, as I sit on the 6th, somewhere around 1,300 homes on the market. But that's actually kind of leveled off in just the last few weeks. So we'll see how this month shakes out. When we're talking about inventory, the other thing we want to look at is month supply. So this is your gauge of number of homes going closing versus the number on the market. Right now we're at 1 month supply, which is very low, although it did come off these lows we saw back in the winter, both this year and last year. Last year we peaked out at 1.1 month supply in August, but then it came back down. And you'll see that's a normal seasonal trend where we kind of peak out in the summer. I'm going to go back to these more normal years that were, you know, 4 month supply in 2016. And the thing that's interesting, we peaked up in 2014, 7 month supply, although in 2014 we still had annual gain in prices. So it's an interesting thing to follow here because generally we do not see prices start to slide until we get in a month supply somewhere, let's say 5-6 month supply. We're nowhere near that right now, but let's look at prices. If we look at median prices, we peaked out last month for May at $330,000 median price for the Albuquerque area, and we pulled it back to $320,000, so a 3% decrease in 1 month. Does that mean prices are crashing? I say no. And of course, time will always tell. We don't, I have no crystal ball just like anybody else. However, it's not uncommon to see home prices peak out this time of year and then pull back slightly. If you look at these charts here, you can see. So June 2019 peaked out, came back down into the winter. So we'll see how this plays out. Definitely a different variable with these interest rates this year, as well as the incredible price appreciation we've had over the last few years. If you're a homeowner, you're sitting in good shape. You probably have more equity than you've ever had in your home, and if you're locked in at that 3% or so mortgage rate, good for you. That's cheap money these days, especially when you consider inflation at plus 8% a year. So yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. All right. Also, pricing. I want to talk about price per square foot because that's also a pretty good indicator of total price appreciation. Again, we had a peak for May at 195 per square foot, pulled back to 191 per square foot, so about a 2% decrease. But if we look at that from June versus June, that's a 15% increase. And if we look at that annualized, we're almost at 18% average price per square foot. So again, if you're a homeowner, you've been a homeowner for a few years, you're sitting in really good shape. Again, I'm not going to say what this is going to do. I know a lot of people think home prices are going to slip. I think in some markets around the country, that's a good possibility. We're in a different type of market than many of those markets that are talked about. And I think that's about it. One thing I did want to show you is this one is the number of showings per listing. And let's do this monthly. And what this does, this shows us how many people are actually going into homes. So we've definitely seen a pullback in June in the number of showings, although it's still pretty healthy. We're seeing it here. We're still seeing a lot of people that want to get into homes, and it's just the sub $300,000 home is just much more rare in the Albuquerque area, which is amazing. It's interesting. About 2 years ago, I said, the $200,000 home is going away and never coming back. And people are like, really? I'm like, yeah, no, and we're pretty much there. Yes, there are homes in that price range, but it's very, very, very limited. And also, of course, location as well. So if you made it all the way through, good for you. If you got any questions about real estate, just reach out to me. You can send me a message on Facebook. You can call our team at Venturi Group, Keller Williams, 505-448-8888. Thanks for watching.